guys, this is Donovan and Ben with Lubix Cube, and got another package in today which I'm pretty excited about, especially after going through it. So straight into this, let's do it. So this is the Dayan GuHong. Next to it is the ZhanChi, which I've already done a review on. And over here is the Dayan LingYun, and now the new LunHui. So this video is all about this new cube of LunHui, but I have these other cubes out just to give you some comparisons. So looking at the GuHong in comparison with the ZhanChi, ZhanChi is a little bit bigger, I mean just microscopically, but it's also quite a bit heavier. It's actually heavier than any of the other cubes on the table here, so getting these guys out of the way. The new LunHui is just about the same size as the LingYun, only it's just slightly larger. I kept these out so you can see. These are stickers for a GuHong, and these are stickers for both the LingYun and the LunHui. So these are the new stickers that are on this guy. So just to show you, you will not be able to use your GuHong stickers with the new cube. We have two of them here, so I'm going to go through the pieces, just to kind of show you like what they're all about. So you have coffee out of the way. So you have the edge pieces, and something that you'll notice about the edge pieces is just the way that they're designed is much different. But you also have this, and this is the new piece on the advertisement that I saw for it. It said that it was unpoppable, and after putting one of these together, I'm kind of inclined to believe that this may be the first unpoppable 3x3 cube. So basically, if you look at it from this vantage, you see that there's that little torpedo guy on the bottom, and that interlocks with the corner piece, which looks like this when assembled. So it sits here like this. Once again, like everyone knows that if you turn to a 45, pull out that edge piece, that's what allows it to pop. This is just simply holding on to too many areas to do that. So this little torpedo on the bottom slides along the bottom of the corner. The only thing I'm concerned about as far as their manufacturing process is basically these little guys right here on the center. There is a possibility, I imagine, for those guys to hit this piece, which would cause probably a little bit of a locking feel, which I do feel in this cube a little bit. I also wanted to show you some other things. These are the corner pieces on the inside, so very similar to the ZhanChi and the LingYun. The difference is on the ZhanChi, they didn't have any sort of a tab down on the bottom, and this one actually has a small fin down on the bottom, so when you're interlocking the pieces together, there is a small fin that interlocks on the bottom as well. They go together pretty tight, not quite as tight as the ZhanChi did, but as far as the corners are concerned, pretty good. So let's look into the internals of these guys, and you can see how everything kind of takes place. So let me actually open up one more for you. So this is what the inside of the LunHui looks like, and you'll notice that there's the little fins on the inside, the little torpedoes I'm calling them, that just wrap themselves around the core. So the size of the core is pretty important. It looks like this will be able to work with an Alpha 1 core, because the Alpha 1 core is actually a little bit narrow of a diameter than the standard ones. So getting this piece in, and you can start seeing the little teeth and how they interact with each other. So during the popping angle, I guess we'll just finish putting this guy together. One thing that I've noticed is that these are really hard to put together, which almost leads me to believe that it is an unpoppable cube. It's just simply hard to get this last piece in because of this torpedo, and it has a hard time clicking in between. You literally have to pull apart the corners this way and get that edge down here in order to get that torpedo piece in, and it's actually quite a bit of a chore to do that. So this is an unlubed, unmodified LunHui. My impressions on it are it's actually just feels like a dry cube. a little bit of locking, and that's from the 48-point edge mod area. On these, it still has it. You use something better to point with. So when I get these in, I still am going to do the edge mod right here. Oh, but there was another thing I wanted to point out is that apparently people are paying attention and listening, because right here you'll notice that this no longer goes to a sharp point, such as on the GuHong or the ZhanChi. So if you look side by side, basically they've already added in the V5 me, myself, and Pi corner mod on the top. So this actually has 2 basic points on the top of that, so it should roll around a lot smoother. So that's definitely a great addition on this cube. And let's see what else to talk about on this guy, other than it's really, really hard to get that last.
The way it oscillates. It oscillates when you turn it.
Are you making professional?
I don't feel it. Yeah, doing a video on a new cube that came out. Got them in today, so it's probably not a whole bunch of people in the U.S. that have one of these yet. So I'm just doing a review on it and let YouTube know.
Just touch it.
Yeah, here you can use that one. Donovan and Ben at a coffee shop, and this will be on the YouTube video. So its weight is it's pretty heavy. It's a lot heavier than the LingYun, but it feels manageable and controllable. Whereas the ZhanChi, the more I've been playing with this cube, it's slightly bigger than the GuHong, and it makes it almost seem like it throws a lot of mass.
How long does it take
across the cube?
I'm not good at 3-4 minutes.
Everybody starts there one day.
Oh my god.
So for the LunHui, I guess I can go into a couple other things. Number one of them is corner cutting, so we'll start low and go up from there. So moving towards line to line, that's a line to line cut. That's greater than line to line. That is 45. So it wants to start locking up just like most cubes do at 45, and that's simply just because this edge is no longer pulling this corner around. But it will do just about 45-degree cutting. It's reverse corner cutting, as you'd expect from the rest of the Dayan cubes. Just starts approaching that next line to line before it locks up. But if you are, say, right about here, 3/4 of a sticker, it'll jump off of that with no problem. So for speed cubing, really, really great cube. An impressive one, which is almost retarded, is there is a center point for an M-turn. There is below the center point for an M-turn. And just about as far as we've been able to get it to go is right about here, which is ridiculous for an M-slice, and it'll still cut across. Ben and I use Ru, so this is a really great cube for Ru, is that how far it can be off and still actually execute that U-turn with an M-slice. What else should I say about it, Ben?
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really good feeling cube. I like it a lot. It's hard to say. It does have a little bit of a lockiness to it, and I'm still playing around with trying to figure out where that locking's coming from. It could actually be there's a little bit of a burr here on the second layer of the edge. So basically it has 2 tiers on these edges. So it may actually just be coming from this spot right here, or perhaps it's coming from this torpedo catching up on the bottom side of the corner. Not quite sure yet. We're not lubing or modifying this one at all yet, just to see the wear patterns and see where modifying it could best take place. On this one, I simply did a 48-point edge mod like I do with most of the Dayan cubes that come in right off the bat. Didn't even bother putting it together yet, just modified it and went. And it's great. It feels really close to a LingYun, whereas the ZhanChi feels like a combination between the LingYun and the GuHong. This feels really close to just a little bit heavier of a LingYun. But yeah, so this is the new cube. I will be carrying them at LubixCube.com. In the very near future, I'm actually working on an order right now and should have that order placed this evening. So give it a couple weeks and these will be available, the Ultimate LunHui. So there you go, Donovan and Ben with Lubix Cube, and this is the newest Dayan cube.